The history of chess is littered with the names of many great men. Paul Morphy, Wilhelm Steinitz, Emanuel Lasker, Jose Raul Capablanca, Bobby Fischer, Magnus Carlsen, etc. But what about the women who have helped shape the world's chess history? As with many other fields, women were historically discouraged from pursuing a career in chess. Yet there are many incredible women who persevered. These famous female chess masters have more in common than their gender and career path, though. They are all trailblazers in their own right, who broke through many barriers, both on the chessboard and in the real world. In my mind, the 2004 Chess Olympiad game between Grandmaster Susan Polgar and Grandmaster Maya Chibordanitsa represents one of the finest attacking chess games ever played in modern international competition, regardless of gender. I wish I could say that Susan Polgar's attacking masterpiece played for Team USA ushered in a new era of elite women's chess in America. Sadly, however, shortly after the U.S. women's team received their silver medals, they also received word from the United States Chess Federation that the Women's Olympiad program was canceled. Hopefully, this game will continue to serve as a reminder of women's contributions to the game of chess, and the fact that supporting women's chess enriches us all with the wonderful games these events produce. The player with the black pieces was Maya Chibordanitsa. Chibordanitsa is the 7th Women's World Chess Champion and held the title from 1978 until 1991. Throughout her career, Maya has won 9 Women's Chess Olympiads, and FIDE awarded her the title of Grandmaster in 1984. Grandmaster Susan Polgar had the white pieces. Susan's list of chess accomplishments is unrivaled in women's chess. Grandmaster Susan Polgar is the first woman in history to break the gender barrier by qualifying for the 1986 Men's World Championship. She also was the first woman to earn the Grandmaster title by norms and rating. She became the number 1 ranked woman player in the world at the age of 15 and remained in the top 3 for nearly 25 straight years. Polgar went on to win 10 Olympic medals and 4 Women's World Championships. Her most recent Olympiad spotlight moment took place in October 2004, when she and the U.S. women's national team brought home the first ever medal for the United States. Some of the accomplishments listed on her Lifetime Achievement page at susanpolgar.com include winning the Budapest Championship for girls under 11 at the age of 4, breaking 4 world records for a simultaneous chess exhibition in 2005, coaching the number 1 ranked men's Division I team as the head coach at Texas Tech and now for Webster University, winning the U.S. Open Blitz Championship 3 times. Susan is also an award-winning and best-selling chess author. She is the director of SPICE and is also sponsor and organizer of the prestigious annual Susan Polgar National Invitation for Girls Championship, the Susan Polgar World Open for girls and boys, and the Susan Polgar National Open for girls and boys, which I had the pleasure of organizing for 2 years in 2015 and 2016. Susan Polgar is a pioneer in women's chess, an ambassador to the game, and a true role model to millions of young people worldwide. So let us now look at this fabulous statement from the Queen. Susan Polgar starts with 1 knight f3. Maya Chibordanitsa plays knight f6. 2 c4. Susan is highly accomplished with 1 e4 and 1 d4. So it is quite interesting and very uncharacteristic that she chose to use the English opening in such an important game. The English opening, which commonly starts with 1 c4, has its name derived from the fact that the great British chess master Howard Staunton employed it during his unofficial World Championship match with Saint-Amant in 1843, and again at the first International Chess Tournament at London in 1851. Maya Czeburzynitsa plays 2e6, and Susan Polgar plays 3 knight c3, bishop b4, 4 queen to c2, and Maya Czeburzynitsa castles. Everyone knows you are supposed to castle early, but Maya castling so quickly here creates a nice target for Susan Polgar. 5a3. Susan is seemingly just trying to get her opponent to trade a bishop for a knight, which would give her a small advantage in the endgame. However, this move is not as innocent as it looks. 5 bishop takes c3. 6 queen takes c3. The early knight for bishop exchange favors Susan, but more important is that Susan's queen has found itself on c3 early. Black plays 6c5, and Susan Polgar plays 7b4. Playing b4 here opens up b2 for Susan's bishop, which then creates a dangerous battery on the a1 to h8 diagonal. Black plays 7b6, 8 bishop b2, d6, and now Susan Polgar plays 9g4. A brand new move and a reminder that your king is never safe when you're playing against a Polgar. 9 bishop b7. Maya responds by taking control of the diagonal, which Susan weakened by playing g4. g5. Knight goes to h5 to defend against checkmate. Rook g1. It is simply remarkable how quickly Susan Polgar created a dangerous attack without the need to gambit any material. Black's 11th move is e5, which is a strong defensive move that blocks Susan's threat of mate while occupying the center. 12 bishop h3, Black plays 12 knight f4, and now 13 bishop f5. This is a nice repositioning of the bishop, which should entice Black to play g6. Maya plays g6, and Susan Polgar plays 14 knight takes e5. I am sure this came as a shock to Czeburzynitsa, who likely anticipated the bishop retreating from f5. Instead, Susan Polgar offers another piece, and in doing so, recreates threats of checkmate along the a1 to h8 diagonal. Knight takes e2. Obviously, Susan won't capture the knight because if king takes e2, Black can play dx e5, and now the queen cannot capture on e5 because of the rook pin. So Susan sacrifices her queen. Before we continue with the actual game, perhaps we'll go back and look at Maya's other possibilities other than 14 and xe2. So after 14 knight takes e5, Maya could have played 14 dx e5, but that would have been a mistake because queen takes e5, f6, and then queen takes f4. Maya could have tried 14 gx f5. However, after 15 knight c6, f6, knight takes d8, knight g6, and knight takes b7, White is easily winning. And finally, one more what if. Maya could have played maybe rook e8, 14 rook e8. In which case Susan had knight takes f7, king takes f7, and then queen g7, checkmate. So back to our game. Susan had played 14 knight takes e5. Maya responded with 14 and xe2. And then Susan Polgar responds with knight takes f7, which is a queen sacrifice. Maya accepts the sacrifice, knight takes c3. However, 15 king x f7 would have been a big mistake, because queen g7, king e8, bishop f6, and White is easily winning. And again, 15 rook takes f7 is horrible, because Susan Polgar would simply play 16 queen h8 checkmate. So after Black plays 15 knight takes c3, Susan Polgar responds with 16 and h6, check. Black king goes to g7. Bishop takes c3, check. With her king trapped, Chobodnytsa is forced to give back some material. Rook f6 blocks the check. Bishop takes f6, check again. Queen takes f6, and again Maya must part ways with valuable material. Gx f6, and just like that, Susan Polgar is now up the exchange. King takes h6, and Susan Polgar plays 20 bishop e6, threatening bishop to d5. However, Susan considers this to be an inaccuracy, as rook b1 is a more direct path to victory. For example, had Susan played 20 rook b1, Maya could have played gx f5, Susan would play 21 rook b3, and black would have no meaningful way of stopping Susan's rook from going to h3 and delivering mate. So back to 20 bishop e6. Black plays 20 knight c6, 21 bishop d5, 21 rook f8, 22 f7, and black's 22nd move is knight d8. Chobodnytsa will now be able to eliminate the pawn on f7, but at the cost of trading pieces with Susan Polgar, who is up the exchange. Bishop takes b7. Of course, trading pieces while you are ahead in material is a winning recipe. 23, knight takes b7. 24, rook g3. Polgar activates a rook. 24, rook takes f7. 25, rook e3. And now Susan Polgar places the rook into an open file. 25, knight d8. 26, b5. Susan Polgar is taking away a valuable square from black's knight and freezing all of Chobodnytsa's queenside pawns. 26, rook f4. 27, d3. 27, d5. Maya attempts to create some counterplay. 28, rook e7, but Susan calmly places her rook into the 7th rank. 28, dx c4. 29, dx c4. 29, knight f7. 30, rook d1. Susan activates a second rook to an open file. 30, knight g5. 31, rook takes a7, rook takes c4. 32, rook a6. 32, black is rook c2. 33, rook takes b6. 33, black is c4. 34, white is a4. And then rook a2. And then rook a6. And knight f3, check. Maya is trying one last time to create some complications. Susan plays 36, king f1. Knight d2, check. Rook takes d2, but Susan returns the exchange as it simplifies into an easily winning endgame. Rook takes d2. Susan's rook goes back to c6. Rook c2. And 39, pawn b6. Chobodnytsa resigns from a losing endgame. Had she played on, she could have tried maybe rook c1 check, king g2. Hard to imagine a good plan for black here, but maybe pawn c3. Susan could play a5. Black could play c2. In b7. And now when black's rook goes to b1 to stop Susan from queening, Susan could simply play a6. Again, hard to imagine what black should do here, but maybe rook b2. Defending the pawn against Susan queening and still defending against your final hope on c2. But Susan Polgar could play a7 here. Black's really ran out of resources. They could try, I guess, c1 just to get the queen. But then rook takes, and Susan would get her queen. So Chobodnytsa didn't resign early at 39 b6. At this level, the result of this game was a foregone conclusion, as we just saw. I hope you really enjoyed tonight's episode of Master Chess Theater, and I hope this game inspires you to look up other games by Susan Polgar or Maya Chobodnytsa, both of which are extremely good chess players. I am your host, Chris Torres, and this is Master Chess Theater. Don't forget to like and subscribe.